the like perspective on this. Oh, oh, it's so floaty. Oh, it's so floaty. You can drift? Oh, that's awesome. Oh boy. I'll buff right out. Okay, I'm sorry. Oh, you can die like that. That's cool. Hello and welcome to version V55. Today I wanted to go over the company cruiser and technically three new enemies that have been added to the game. And when I say three, I mean technically two, but one of them is not technically a creature. But this not a creature still has a bestiary. And I'm currently live right now, so if you go over to Twitch, you can vote on what happens in the game through stream integration. So the first thing we go over is the company cruiser. We have the ability to do pretty much anything we want with the company cruiser. We can turn on the wipers, we can turn on the headlights, we can open the little flap so we can see into the back. We have the radio, which we can tune. We have an eject button, which is actually really useful. But the most annoying thing is you have to look at the parking thing in order to be able to shift gears. So you have to take your eyes off the road in order to go into drive or reverse or into park. And if you're curious how we'll be able to take the company cruiser with us throughout the different moons, there's actually a magnet now attached to the ship where you'll be able to drive the company cruiser to that side of the ship and we'll be able to take it to whichever moon we go to. I think the company cruiser will be a very high skill ceiling vehicle, and I think you'll have a designated driver. I think the person who is on the computer will be able to be the company cruiser driver as well. So when he sees that there's a lot of stuff at the entrance, he'll be able to drive over and pick all of that stuff up pretty easily and then drive it back and then get back onto the computer. I think that's going to be the most likely scenario for the company cruiser. Now, I will say it is very hard to drive the company cruiser. The only time I've been able to do it is when I was on experimentation, where I was able to actually see in broad daylight where I was going. I tried it on Titan and I tried it on March. The fog makes it really hard on both maps because it's really hard to see the road with the company cruiser, so it'd be interesting to see if there's a way to make that slightly better. But I absolutely love the stylistic approach to the radio. I think that's very nice detail to have, and it totally fits the game to have that type of music inside the company cruiser and only in the company cruiser. So I really like how he's going about adding music into the game. And I have looked into liquidation and I haven't noticed any change in liquidation, so I don't think that's been added at all in this update. The only thing we have gotten in this update is the company cruiser and the three new enemies, technically just two new enemies. Now moving on to the Kidnapper Fox. I think this is a really nice addition to the game. I think it's very nice to see something different opposed to the eyeless dog and old bird that typically dominates the outside area during the night. And old birds are not that hard to avoid, in my opinion. They seem to like spend the most time searching, and when they do find you, you'll be able to just run back to your ship in time before they get to you. So the only times I can see it being a problem is if you go to Adamant's and you're caught in a place where you have to run away from the old bird for a very long period of time. But yeah, I think the Kidnapper Fox is a great new entity to the game. I'm going to be doing a reading on his bestiary in tomorrow's video, so make sure you're subscribed for that. And there's also another entity associated with the Kidnapper Fox, which is this plant it likes to hide in. It seems to like hiding in this plant and bringing people back into this plant, so that's also going to be in the bestiary video tomorrow. Now, it doesn't seem to have too much functionality right now. I think it'll be cool if it will be able to damage you if you stand in it or rub up against it. I think that would be a nice way to bring a little bit more life into this entity. I do like how this plant and the Kidnapper Fox is associated. And last but certainly not least, we have the Barber entity. Now, this entity has a giant pair of scissors and phases in and out of existence at times. I have yet to figure out a pattern in how it attacks and why it attacks. One thing I do know that's very cool is it uses its giant scissors to cut the player in two, and it's actually pretty gross because you can see the inside insides of the player, and it actually looks pretty gruesome. Although it doesn't really seem too difficult to deal with. I've read reports on Discord that it takes about 6 hits to kill this thing, which is quite a bit. And I think that was with a knife as well, so I don't know if you would use a shovel if it would be able to kill it faster. But it does seem like something that would be pretty hard to fight with, considering that it teleports regardless of if you're looking at it or not. Overall, I'm very excited for this update. I am a little bit disappointed that we didn't get a new interior, which is what I was really hoping for, so hopefully we get that hopefully soon. But I am somewhat excited that we got new bestiary entries for the 3 new entities. I am disappointed that the barber entity did not get a longer bestiary, because I believe the barber entity is now the shortest bestiary in the game, which is very sad to see because it's a very interesting entity. And it's sad to see, like, assuming bestiaries don't really change throughout the updates, if this will be the only piece of lore we get about the clay surgeons for its entire life in the game. Because the enemies in Lethal Company are just so interesting, and it'd be very sad to see certain entities not get the proper lore associated with them like we've seen with the other entities. I am very excited to see how the community responds to the company cruiser and if it will be used in higher quota runs. I think that'll be very fun to see, and I think it'll be a very fun thing to see people use and have a lot of different funny clips of it exploding for no reason. But yeah, I am currently cross-streaming on YouTube and Twitch. If you're in Twitch chat, you'll be able to vote for the stream integration with Lethal Company, and that's a really cool thing to see. And thank you so much for watching the video. I'm going to be reporting on anything new that gets added. I'm not sure if anything new is going to be added to this update other than just a couple of bug fixes here and there. I don't think it'll be like V50 where we're constantly getting new updates, you know, like adamants was changing and tulip snakes were added. But yeah, I think that's going to be all from me, so until next time.